Yeah, look at me. Wrong one. Nah, they think I'm a punk. I just got a suit on. It really didn't make sense. Like, the only big concern was going to ice it down, but yeah, cool about it. We talk about it. Too much time in between, plus working out. We supposed to stay fresh. I'm not saying that's the reason. I'm just saying that that's like they icing you out too much. So yeah, when you go ahead and answer what I talked to him about.
Ryan did the shoulder roll in the last fight.
Man, it's like, I think everybody, that's Fourn's thing, right? I think that's his thing. I mean, we wasn't really copying.
Former boxing trainer of the year Derek James has officially ended his partnership with Ryan Garcia following Garcia's disappointing performance against Rolly Romero. After just 3 fights together, James has chosen to part ways with Garcia, citing a desire to step back from training. "I've always said I wouldn't keep training once the final set of my stable retires," James explained. "AJ is gone, Errol is gone, and I suppose Frank will find his path in time. As for Ryan, Eddie has always been his first choice."
Derek, can you talk to us just about the fight? What you think? What you think about the fight, the outcome, Ryan's performance?
Derek James made the announcement shortly after the post-fight press conference during an interview with a reporter. He confirmed that it was his final fight working with Ryan Garcia and that he plans to take an extended break from the boxing scene. James cited Garcia's lack of professionalism and unwillingness to follow guidance as key reasons for stepping away. He also expressed frustration that despite a fighter's shortcomings, the trainer often takes the blame. One comment under Ryan Garcia's post-loss tweet ignored the fighter's flaws entirely and instead placed the blame on Derek James.
I don't believe in apologizing. If I really meant something, I'm not gonna apologize. And no, man, don't worry about that. He said because 2 days before the fight, typically everybody's sitting there. So yeah, this is what it is. When you people talk about you.
A fan commented, "I swear every fighter who's worked with Derek James recently comes into the ring looking stiff and one-dimensional. Although tonight wasn't entirely his fault. I honestly don't know what Ryan was doing in there. It looked like he didn't even want to win." The fan went on to say that if these are the kinds of reactions an experienced professional like Derek James receives after dedicating his time and effort to his fighters, it's better he steps away before the disrespect becomes louder. Ryan Garcia's performance against Rolly Romero was widely criticized as a dismal showing marked by sluggishness and a lack of ring intelligence.
I don't believe in apologizing. If I really meant something, I'm not gonna apologize. No, man, don't worry about that. He said because 2 days before the fight, typically everybody's sitting there. So yeah, this is what it is. When you talk about you.
It was evident that Ryan Garcia's performance was far from what a coach of Derek James's caliber would have advised. Garcia appeared to go off on his own approach, disregarding the structure typically expected from James's corner. As a result, his team has faced heavy criticism for the disappointing outcome. In Garcia's case, Derek James has found himself under scrutiny more than usual, a rare position for the typically composed and respected trainer. The most recent incident came during the final press conference, when Bill Haney publicly called him out, questioning why James stayed silent about Garcia coming in overweight in his previous fight and failing a performance-enhancing drug test.
Progressing in any way, I just felt weird, and I'm gonna mention it to Derek. We were just trying to figure it out, but we only had 5 weeks together. I think it's just one of those things where I was like, man, I don't know what's going on. Like, I don't know why I can't get those, progressive, sharpness coming in again. I don't know why it's not picking up, but
Bill Haney fired those questions. A deafening silence hung in the air from Derek James, who seemed either confused or entirely unaware of what Haney was asking. Derek James had to endure this embarrassing moment, all because of Ryan Garcia's lack of discipline. Then Garcia stepped into the ring against Rolly Romero and did little to nothing. He lacked intent, awareness, aggression, and sharpness. Nothing seemed to click for him. While it was a frustrating spectacle for boxing fans, it must have been even more disheartening for Derek James, who had spent weeks preparing Garcia for this fight.
This is Rolly Romero.
Well, he's not showing he's been very disciplined and he really wants what he wants. And that's the only reason why.
He was off PEDs his last fight. Answer the question. You guys pled guilty to PEDs. You finally are up here. Hall of Fame trainer and Derek James. Answer the question. Is he going to be clean this fight?
Prevent further issues, particularly with Ryan Garcia, Derek James has announced his retirement. Garcia is a fighter who appears to be building his legacy on controversies, consistently adding complications to each of his fights. When he wins, it's often accompanied by a chaotic buildup filled with alcohol, madness, and misbehavior, followed by a messy post-fight period marked by failed tests. When he loses, his performance is underwhelming, leading to frustration and, in this case, pushing his trainer out of the camp. Fans, who were aware of Garcia's interest in working with Eddie Reynoso before linking up with Derek James, have expressed their surprise at the turn of events.
Let's ask some real questions. Ask him, is he going to be clean this fight? Is Derek James going to make sure that he's clean?
Damn you, ESPN. Damn you, ESPN.
Derek seems like he's done talking. Ryan, you're hearing this all across the stage here. What do you make?
And one fan speculated, "I think James was heading into retirement, so Garcia was initially planning to work with Reynoso. But then he realized, like everyone else, that Reynoso didn't have time for him. So he offered Derek James a deal to have him in his corner for the fight." Another fan chimed in, saying, "Y'all are overthinking it. Reynoso is busy with Canelo and Munguia, who both have fights the same night as Ryan and Teo. He doesn't have enough time to handle 4 camps for fighters who are fighting in the same 24 hours on opposite sides of the world."
Last fight.
Bill wants to know why Derek James didn't do the weight cut last time.
Quiet as a church mouse.
I don't know what he's asking. Derek
Quiet.
was there the whole time.
Let's move forward.
Someone aware of Derek James's decision to step away from boxing before Ryan reached out commented, "So Derek James isn't going to be out of a job after all. I was thinking everyone might have left him." To be fair, this seems like a smart move for Ryan, as he was showing progress under James. I do wonder how recent this decision was, though, since he was supposedly working with Reynoso again, but now isn't. With just over a month until his fight, it's clear he's got limited time. The 2022 BWA Trainer of the Year has a long list of notable fighters and champions under his belt, including Errol Spence Jr., the former unified welterweight champion, Jermall Charlo, the ring's junior middleweight title holder, Frank Martin, a highly ranked lightweight contender, and Anthony Joshua, the former unified heavyweight champion. Garcia's choice to join James's Texas camp wasn't just his own decision. In a post on his social media, it seemed the highly popular star sought the blessing and approval of Errol Spence Jr. before making the decision. "Thank you to Derek James and Errol Spence Jr. for allowing me to join the team," he wrote, after officially bringing James on board as his new trainer. In their first 2 fights together, Derek James helped Ryan Garcia achieve a standout victory over Oscar Duarte and a disqualification win against Devin Haney. Garcia had initially planned to reunite with Canelo Alvarez's trainer, Eddie Reynoso, for his next fight, as he had trained under Reynoso from 2018 to 2021. However, with Alvarez preparing for an undisputed title fight on May 3rd, Reynoso was unable to accommodate him.
Boots fight is obviously a mega event because of Ryan.
Ryan, if you hit Jerome with those punches that stay on this line, what happens?
Well, I'm much more snappier than Odious. I didn't say that. But I'm way more ferocious than that guy. So it could be a lot. You never know in the ring. Some people could take good shots, some people can't. So you just gotta see when you get in the ring.
Hey, Ryan, you're at the border.
Instead, Garcia announced that he has reunited with Derek James, who was previously Anthony Joshua's trainer. Garcia had worked with James before for his fights against Devin Haney and Oscar Duarte. He shared the news on social media over the weekend, posting on X, formerly Twitter, "Major announcement, working with Derek James this camp, and it's been going great. Let's go, May 2nd Fatal Fury." Unfortunately, Garcia faced a shocking defeat in his comeback fight against Rolly Romero at Times Square, losing by unanimous decision despite being heavily favored. Garcia suffered a knockdown in the second round, leading to one of the biggest upsets in recent boxing history. Fans and analysts reacted with a mix of disbelief and criticism, pointing out Garcia's significant drop in performance during his first fight back. Despite the loss, Garcia graciously acknowledged Romero's victory without offering any excuses. The event drew significant attention due to both the high-profile venue and the unexpected outcome.
The thing about these fighters, it's very funny. They always have an idea how they want to fight somebody until it's not working. Right? And you really don't want to find out it's not working during the fight. So you want to, hopefully they got to have an aha moment. Okay, man, I'm tired of